we're here today with participant number 6. I'm going to let him introduce himself. What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from?
Stephen Kent. I'm 44 years old. I live in Long Beach, New York right now, but originally from Copiague.
Which is on Long Island.
Long Island, baby.
Tell us what your favorite team is there, sir.
My favorite team is the New York Football Giants, baby.
The one? And where in New York do they play?
So, New York.
just in New York.
Just New York, a suburb of New York. I gotta tell you though, so obviously a Giants fan, but I'm shocked that I didn't grow up a Steelers fan. And the reason why, there's tons of pictures of me as a kid with Steelers gear on because hand-me-downs. My cousin's a big Steelers fan to this day, but somehow I avoided it. I don't know how. I still root for them though. Like that's a team in the AFC that I will root for. I've gone to the AFC Championship game against the Jets and stuff. I wore all fucking Steelers shit, you know. So yeah, somehow I dodged that. I don't know how. I mean, it would have been a bad choice because the Steelers are pretty nasty. But
yeah. I actually never knew that about you, man. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Being a New York Giants fan, do you have any favorite moments, whether you were at the game or if it was just a play or a game?
So there's one thing about the Giants. I feel like they've given me many, many big moments. Many, many low moments too, right? Like I feel like the Giants, that team, are like never in between. It's either really big or not at all. So I have a few that I'll name. My favorite, though, you might be surprised by this. 1990 season NFC Championship game, not the Super Bowl, right? So the championship game, playing the 49ers. 49ers just won back-to-back Super Bowls. That team is nasty, right? Offense and defense nasty. Probably the best defensive game I've ever seen the Giants play. There's 2 minutes left or a little more than 2 minutes. Niners are just running out the ball. And I can't remember. I think it was Eric Howard who knocked out the ball from Roger Craig. Falls right into LT's hands. Matt Barr kicks his 5th field goal of the day. All the points for the Giants that day were by Matt Barr, and they win that game. And what was really cool is I watched that with my older brother. And, we watched it at his friend's house, and his 2 friends were there. One was a 49ers fan, whose house it was. The other one was a Raiders fan. And that day, they had the AFC and NFC Championship game on the same day then, and the Bills beat the Raiders. So those 2 guys were crying upstairs. We were like going nuts, jumping up and down, hugging. It was such a magical moment. That was definitely like my favorite all-time moment was that NFC Championship. Next best moment was the 2007 NFC Championship game, which I was at. Now, this was my favorite football game I've ever attended, and I've been to the Super Bowl. I went to the 2011 Super Bowl. This was way better. I made a decision. I'm like, I've never been to a Super Bowl. Do I take a chance and see if they win and go to Arizona, or do I go to this game? I'm like, this is historic, like Lambeau Field. So I go to this game. It's minus like 30 degrees or something like that with the wind chill, 25 degrees with the wind chill. Tynes kicked the 47-yarder.
Nice.
And you could hear a fucking pin drop in that stadium. There was maybe 5,000 Giant fans, right? A pin drop. So we're going nuts. These fans are coming up to us, shaking our hands, congratulating us, saying, hope you guys beat the Patriots next week in the Super Bowl. I stayed afterwards, me and my buddy, and I don't know how, maybe a few hundred fans went down where they had the post-game show, and now some of the Giant players started coming out, jumping up and pounding them and stuff like that. Justin Tuck comes out, he was like early on in his career. It's like, I love Justin Tuck. Guy comes out, jumps in the stands. He jumps down. He takes his NFC Championship hat, throws it in the stands, and I got it.
Nice. Oh, shit.
But I still have it. I put it on my head. It was like this big. Third, obviously, Super Bowl that year. And they're going against my favorite player of all time, Tom Brady. I just grabbed the seat closest to the TV, and I just sat there, nervous as shit.
Yeah.
And the Tyree catch, like, just fall into I fell to the ground, being like, holy, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And I feel like Eli does not, to this day, get enough credit for that play. for how he kept it alive. Not so much for the throw. Like the throw was miracle throw.
Yeah.
How he escaped that rush. Like he was dead to right. So I took Ryan to the last game at Giant Stadium against the Panthers, and they got absolutely annihilated. So Ryan's claim to fame is he feels that he took the last shit at Giant Stadium.
Nice. That's awesome. We established you were a huge Giants fan. Could you tell me, what do you think they're going to do this year? Going to make playoffs? What kind of record they're going to have?
So, all right. I really think 9 wins is very achievable for this team. And I don't think 10's out of the question, right? I love what Judge is doing. I really do. The 2 key factors are this O-line, this disaster of an O-line. If they could somehow come together and play well enough that they can get the running game going, because that's going to be the key. Like, Daniel Jones is running for his life because they can't run the ball, right? But if you can start getting Barkley going, that'll help. And honestly, like, this is the make or break year for Daniel Jones. I do think they're going to make the playoffs. That division sucks. And that division's up for grabs. Yeah. I think they're going to win a division. I already bet that they're going to win a division. So
who do you have as your final 4 teams? AFC Championship, NFC Championship.
So in the AFC, it's so easy to pick the Bills and the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. So honestly, I think the Steelers. I really do. I think that the Bills going to have a little bit of a letdown this year. I think it's going to be Steelers and Chiefs in the AFC. In the NFC, I gotta have an asterisk or a caveat here. So if the Giants make the playoffs, as I predict, I'm predicting them to go to the NFC Championship game. Yes, which is fucking crazy, but the defense looked stellar last year, even though they were on the field most of the time, right? They really came together in the latter 2/3 of the season. They get Barkley back, which is just huge. It's like they traded for a star running back. If they make the playoffs, I got them and the Seahawks.
Okay.
If they don't, it's Seahawks-Packers.
So who goes to the Super Bowl?
Unfortunately, it's the Seahawks. I would think. I know, and you know what it is? I hate their fucking coach. I'm not even going to say his name. I hate
really?
I think it's such a douche. Seahawks, Chiefs.
And who wins?
Fuck Pete Carroll, Chiefs. I'll just go Chiefs.
You said
I do. I think it would be the Seahawks, but I'm saying Chiefs.
All right, fair enough. All right, so who do you have for a season MVP?
Honestly, fucking Russell Wilson. How this guy has not won an MVP yet is beyond me.
Tell me, do you have any sleeper teams?
I do. So I got 3 sleeper teams, right? I like the Patriots this year. They had a lot of guys opt out on defense last year from the season.
Yep.
People forget that. And their defense was nasty the year before. They were probably the best defense. Another one might be a little more of a surprise, but the Denver Broncos. I know the Broncos had a lot of injuries last year, starting with the heart and soul of the team, Von Miller. Like week 1, guy's knocked out. He's done. So he's back this year, right? I feel like they made a big upgrade at quarterback. Like, was anybody really sold on Drew Lock?
No.
And my third is my Giants. Like, I feel like outside of their fan base, like everyone just thinks they're going to suck.
Yes.
And even some within their fan base.
Right. So what team do you hate?
Cowboys.
And you want?
Cowboys. Yeah. There's without a. It used to be close with the Eagles, right? Especially like Deshaun Jackson days and all the crap that would happen. But the Cowboys, I hate them. I just hate them because their fans are just so delusional.
You didn't even let me finish the question. I love it.
No, they've been living off that era since then.
I agree.
Like, oh my God, and it's just the greatest things ever have happened to this team. Like Tony Romo fumbling the snap for the field goal, and Des Bryant like catching that ball, but calling that he didn't. Like it's like the greatest heartbreak ever.
Yeah,
continues to happen to this team. It couldn't happen to a better team. Like I can't stand their fan base.